haven't had the countdown yet. Who's doing countdown? Oh. I think it would be nice if Yoni did the Pledge of Allegiance. It's his last meeting. Yoni. Yes, I'm ready. Good afternoon, everyone, and it is 5:02, and it's time to start. According to my computer, it's time to call the meeting to order. The meeting scheduled for June 8th, 2021, and I would like to ask my student board member to lead us in the flag salute. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you so much, Yoni. Okay. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda, please?
I'll move approval of the agenda.
Thank you, Dr. Stern.
I'll second.
Mr. Margot is the second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you. 4-0. Just like to point out that Mrs. Wells is not here this evening. She's on vacation, and she will be back at the next meeting. Okay. And with that, Dr. Breggy, was there anything that came from closed session?
Yes, Mrs. Marcus. The board has approved the settlement agreement 4-0 for OAH case 202-1030-190. And I'm very excited to make the following announcement to our community and especially the staff and parents and students at BVMS. The board has approved the appointment of Dr. Kelly Scahn 4-0 as the new principal of Beverly Vista Middle School beginning on July 1st, 2021. Congratulations to Dr. Scahn.
Thank you. Any other? No? Okay. We will now have a teacher-student spotlight report, and I believe that, Dr. Breggy, you're going to lead us into that? Or
Yes. So I'm actually going to turn it right over to Mr. Smith, and he is going to set this up for us and share some of what's been happening in our music department and to recognize some of our students. Mr. Smith?
He's on mute. Mr. Smith, you're on mute. Huh? I don't even think he's...
Do we want to maybe invite Ava or Pasa to introduce?
Chat your intro.
I don't know if you can hear me, but my speaker isn't working. My wife is standing behind me. My speaker isn't working. So I'm hearing you through her computer. Anyway, I can tell that it's coming through via her computer, so I'm going to just pretend like this is working. So I just wanted to take a moment to brag on my students this evening because they've done a fantastic job under pretty extraordinary circumstances, considering that we have been learning music through Zoom and not being able to hear each other, doing it all kind of like not synced up, as you know how Zoom goes, and I'm kind of experiencing that myself right now. So what I'm going to try and do here is, first of all, I wanted to share with you a couple of our soloists from the video tonight, Parsa Farnad and Ava Dad Band, and Parsa is going to UC San Diego, and Ava is going to be going to Yale in the fall. So really proud of these two. And I don't know if Parsa or Ava wanted to say anything, but if so, now would be the time. And I'll see if I can get this to line up where I need it to be.
So I guess we can speak on what our experience has been with choir this year, while Mr. Smith gets it set up. So Zoom choir went like about how you would expect. We all know how bad like delay can be with like webcams, and so it was really difficult to get that choir experience that we've gotten so used to. But when we were able to come back to school and experience singing together again, it was an absolute phenomenal experience, being able to experience singing with everyone all at once, hearing us all together. And it was fantastic that we were able to experience that before graduating and leaving Beverly.
Yeah, getting through the majority of the year on Zoom choir was definitely difficult for morale, just because it made me miss getting to sing with people in person so much. But then when we came back in person, it just made that experience so much better. And that was definitely reflected by almost everybody coming in person by the end of the year. We would end up with only a couple people on Zoom and the majority of the group in person to sing together, just because it's such a magical experience to actually get to hear one another's voices in time with each other.
Mr. Smith, I think you're muted.
I don't think he knows he's muted.
Mr. Smith, there you go.
So we're experiencing what it was like to teach via Zoom in this moment right now. And what I'd like to do is share with you a piece that all the singers are in. This is Daniel, Daniel, servant of the Lord. I don't know if I am able to share the screen. I'm not sure how that's going to work. Let's see. I don't see how I'm sharing the screen.
You could go back to this.
Okay, I think we got it. All right, here we go. It's group effort here. All right, so this is Daniel, Daniel, Servant of the Lord, featuring Parsa and Ava and all the singers from Beverly Hills High School. Please enjoy. Yeah, so my computer's not going to allow this to happen tonight. I don't know if there's somebody else who can share this.
Mr. Smith, Miss Starkins is going to try to give that a shot if she has the access.
Okay. Thank you. So it's around 41 minutes, Ms. Starkins. after this one. Right after this one.
Now the king in his sleep was troubled, and early in the morning he rose to find God had sent his angel down to lock the lion's jaws. Oh, the king cried out, Daniel, Daniel, that Hebrew Daniel, servant of the Lord, that servant of the Lord, that servant of the Lord.
So I just want to take a minute and thank Beverly Hills Education Foundation and the administration at the high school, and of course the school board for your continued support of the vocal music program. We're already starting to work on the carols for next year. We're hoping to be live in person again next year. And I think that the way that this Zoom call has gone tonight is perfect ending to a year of trying to teach choir over Zoom. It just kind of shows you how it's gone. So anyway, thank you for your time tonight, and appreciate your time. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much. I always enjoy listening to the madrigal singers and all the people that come out of the choir. I remember my daughter being a member of the madrigals many, many years ago, and it's always been in love of my life. So I want to congratulate you on your wonderful performance the other night. I was able to watch it, and I'll see if anybody else wants to chime in. Yes, Dr. Stern.
Well, that was absolutely therapeutic and lovely. It just resonated all through me, and I really enjoyed that. It's amazing how you guys, or the kids were in separate rooms, but it really sounded so together, and the musicality was so on top, and I think it's amazing. And also congratulations to Parsa and Ava and all the others who are going to the schools of their choice next year. Thank you.
Mr. Stern, Margot.
Thank you for presenting tonight, and it's wonderful to see the seniors here that were just mere freshmen when my own child finished up in the program, how they've grown in the program and have made it their own. So best of luck to all the seniors. Thanks.
Tristan Walker.
It always gives me chills listening to our students in choral music and mini singers and madrigals. I think it's a little underrated how really talented our students are and what an incredibly strong program we have here. So thank you, Ethan, for your leadership. Thank you to all of the students for bringing it to such a difficult environment this year. Congratulations to all of our seniors, and looking forward to hearing from all of those who will remain in the program for another year. Looking forward to hearing from them in the fall.
Thank you. Okay, moving right along. I think we have some report from the PTA Council, the Reflections Chairs, Mrs. Dotis.
We do have Faradotis here this evening, who is in kind of a dual capacity. So she'll be giving us a report from BHEF, but also she is representing PTA and the PTA Council and our being a chair on the Reflections Committee. And so she's going to be sharing some recognition with us as well. So welcome.
Hello, can you hear me okay?
We can.
Yay, okay.
It works.
Hello, thanks for having me, your board members, and Dr. Breggy. It's always good to see you. Right now I'm here in the capacity of PTA Council Reflections Chair, because it gets a little confusing because I'm wearing two hats this evening, but I wanted to just put that out there. Let me see if I can start sharing my screen. Hello, hold on just a moment. Okay, here is this. All right, so I'm gonna, I don't have a cover page. So this is, sorry, the start of the actual presentation, but I'm just to introduce PTA Reflections this year was all virtual. So that provided time for creativity in making this whole program work, but thankfully we got a lot of, participants this year. We had a total of 189 students submit for reflections, and a large number of those were from the high school, which is unheard of and super exciting. I believe there was a particular art or photography teacher there who got people really engaged, and so that was super exciting. We were thrilled to have so many participants. 21 of those participants placed at the BHUSD PTA Council level, 6 placed at the 33rd Congressional District level, and we actually had 1 place at the California State level. So tonight I just wanted to feature 4 of those participants, 1 from each school, and also I just randomly chose 1 from each participation level. So the first one we have is Chloe Naimian, who is a student at Hawthorne Elementary. She placed 2nd in literature for the primary division at the 33rd Congressional District. And what I love about Chloe is she actually just submitted her entry as a text message, but it worked. It's literature, it counts. I copied and pasted it here at the bottom. And I am going to play her video so that she can tell you what inspired her this year. Let's see if this will work.
I know what it means to have kids. I always want other kids to not feel or would. I can always sense when someone's feeling like being homeschooled during COVID, I knew it had to feel insecure or lonely. I hope I have been able to make my practice feel loved and safe. Thank you for listening. Thank you for the reflection course. It allows me to.
Oops. All right. Were you able to hear that okay?
No.
No. Crap. Okay. Hold on just a moment. Let me see. Well, you know what? I will have to share that later because I think I don't have that link available. So let me move on to the next one. We have Chloe Becker from Horace Mann Elementary. She placed 1st in photography in the intermediate division at BHUSD PTA Council level. She shared with me her statement because she's unable to be here tonight because she just graduated 5th grade. But her statement is, I chose to photograph the photo that I did because during a walk I was on with my mom, I noticed a flower that had a center that looked like what we call the COVID-19 ball. I thought it was a good photograph to choose for this year's category because it was an optimistic view on how I could still see beauty and positivity during bad times. I was grateful to participate in this year's reflections even more this past year. It helped me through the pandemic to find something creative to put my mind into. Art is always a great place to put your emotions into. That is from Chloe Becker. This next one is from Braden Pricehand. She's at Beverly Vista Middle School, and she placed first in choreography at the middle school division at the 33rd Congressional District. Now let me see, actually, Braden sent me a link. So I'm gonna see if I can actually share the other screen. Let me do that. And that way, hopefully you can actually see. I would love for you to see her video. Let me just, hold on just a moment. Oh, so pause this. Okay, let me try sharing this one now. Hold on just a moment. Okay. All right, here we go. Hopefully this will play. Nope. This not working. I can't make this work. Hold on. I am also getting text. Maybe someone is giving me technical help. I believe someone is giving me technical help. So give me a second. What? Let's see. Sound up. Okay, super loud now. Let's see if this works. Hold on. Still not working. Okay, just a moment. Let me try one more thing. I really want this to work. Hold on. Your patience is very important. Apologize profusely. Talk amongst yourselves. Okay, hold on a second. All right, trying one more time. Let's see if this works.
Hi, I'm Braden Pricehand. I'm in 8th grade at Beverly Vista Middle School. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so honored to have won the 33rd district for my dance choreography for the PTA Reflections. This piece is so important to me because in the fall, our community lost a very special boy. His motto was always to rise up, no matter how hard the struggle was for him, even at the end of his life. I truly feel because of his inspiration, this piece has brought me so much luck and success as a dancer. I hoped when I created this piece that it would continue to lift others up when feeling down and when times were hard.
Okay. All right. Yay, it worked. Okay. So now we'll move on to the final participant I'm featuring. It's Georgia Evanson, from Beverly Hills High School. She actually won second place in film production in the high school division at California State PTA, which is pretty awesome. Let me quickly read her statement because she's unable to be here. She said she has many projects and things due this week. So let me pull that up. Okay, so Georgia's statement is inspired by the prompt, I matter because. I decided to interview some intelligent, inspiring young women that I am lucky to have in my life. They reflected upon their experiences as women in this society, expressed their hopes for the future, and explained why they matter. The teen years are a time when girls learn their self-worth, and when they are constantly told by society that they are worthless, they internalize this. This film is a message of hope for future generations of women to truly learn and understand themselves, or understand and value themselves, and proudly claim that they matter. And if it's okay, I'd like to just play a few seconds of her video. Here we go.
I matter because I make an impact, even if it's a small impact, even if it's just impacting one person, it's still an impact. I matter because I might make a bigger impact in the future. I matter because my thoughts and opinions are just as important and valid as any guys.
I matter because everything I do influences the people around me for good or bad, and I get to make the choice to make a positive influence.
I matter because I'm an essential part of society. As a Black 15-year-old girl, I still have a future filled with potential. I'm ready to make an impact on the world.
All right. Okay, so those are just a few of our lovely participants and award winners from our district this year. I just wanted to give a special shout out to the reflection chairs of the district. We had Jessica Gassow at Hawthorne. Kim Becker was a beast and was the chair at both Horace Mann and Beverly Vista Middle School. So man, kudos to her. And Molly Corey was the Beverly Hills High School reflections chair. And without them, this program would not have run. I want to thank them for their support, and I'm so excited that next year Emily Fialio from Horace Mann will be the reflections chair, as this is not my wheelhouse. I did okay, but Emily's going to be amazing, and I'm happy to support her and help her any way we can. All right, I think that covers it for reflections. Thanks so much for letting me present, and our district is, our kids are just awesome. That's all.
Thank you, Dodie. That was unbelievable, and I want to congratulate all the winners and everybody who even entered into it. Every year, with the help of the PTA, this gets bigger and better and better, and it just shows how much love and attention that the PTA gives to this and how they get the kids to participate, and we just see the results of it all with their work. And I just can't tell you how impressed I am by some of the things that I see. And these kids are going to go far. They've got, that keeps them, you know, they get that award and they'll know for sure that they got talent and they can go further. Anybody else comment? Dr. Stern, Mr. Margot, Mrs. Walker-Schuman? No? Okay. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yep.
Go.
Wonderful, rich talent. And thank you, Farah, for being a part of this. And I think you did a great job. I really was moved by the film piece. I think that it is just so important for teens and people to know that they do matter, absolutely. And in days when we all felt so invisible and cut off, I can't think of a more poignant piece of art to help us with those feelings. Everyone was so great. Everyone was so talented. Thank you.
Okay, anybody else? Okay, Mrs. Walker-Schuman? No? Okay, Mrs. Doty, something else you've got for us tonight, I understand.
Yes, that's true. I'm sorry. Was I supposed to just continue? Apologies. Okay, yes. So now I am putting on my BHEF hat. I'm just giving a quick rundown of the latest funding. BHF, as always, is thrilled to support the district however we can. This year we've approved about upwards of $500,000 to go to supporting programs in the district. We're going to continue supporting PBIS at the site level, middle school walk-on coaches, this is just a few of them, college and career readiness, the district-wide science fair, always continued support of the arts. We're always pleased to do that. And then support for each school, basically through in the realm of clubs and extracurricular activities. This year, we're also going to be funding the instructional coach that Dustin is very excited about. We're very excited to make Dustin excited. And we will be launching a teacher grant program in the fall. So I believe we'll launch that at the kind of the first day of school or first teacher meeting. And lastly, I just wanted to thank the outgoing members that we have this year. Shirley Hakeem, who we brought out of retirement to help us with the treasury. She is I call her pinch hitter Shirley because she was amazing and awesome, and we're so grateful for her. Dory Artal is leaving us. She's at her 6th year and is terming out, as well as Dina Glucksman, Michelle Mandel, and Melissa Stein. And per usual, I've also said if they want to take the year to relax and come back, we're always happy to have them. And this year we are welcoming with open arms Emily Wolf. She will be our new treasurer. Very excited. And also Susie Menkes, which is she's a mom of some younger kids, so it's always good to have more people at every level. And I think that's it. That's all I want to say. I won't take up any more of your time. Thanks again, everyone. It's always good to see your faces, and we'll see you around the corner.
Thank you for all you do. It's really wonderful to see you here, and have a wonderful summer.
Thank you, you too, of course, absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you, Sarah.
Okay. The agenda hearing period, I believe we have 2 speakers this evening that want to be to come in. So I'm going to ask first for Marla Weiss to unmute herself and go ahead.
Thank you. Dear President Marcus and members of the Board of Education and members of the school community, I'm Marla Weiss and I'm a high school math and science teacher, as well as a parent of an almost 5th grader at Horace Mann. And I want to give a special shout out and thank you to my daughter's teacher, Miss Subin. Madeline had an amazing experience this year in 4th grade because of her creative, challenging, and inspiring education presented by her. So I want to just thank her. I'm speaking tonight on behalf of my daughter and a number of parents and teachers in the school district. Our children are of various ages and grade levels. We want to share pride in your decision to proclaim June as the Lesbian, Gay, Bisexual, Transgender, and Queer Pride Month. Thank you. We are pleased to know a rainbow flag will be raised for the month of June at all school sites. I'm excited to go to school tomorrow and see one at Horace Mann, where my daughter attends, and at the high school where I teach. This will be amazing for children to see as they walk into the buildings. Our students have siblings, parents, aunts, uncles, grandparents, guardians, extended relatives, and friends who are in the LGBT community. Thank you. On January 1st, 2012, Senate Bill 48 went into effect. This bill added to the Education Code 51204.5. This Ed Code is the one that prescribes the inclusion of various groups in the presentation of California and U.S. history. So on January 1st of 2012, the inclusion of LGBTQ history was put into California Ed Code for grades 1 through 12. Schools have long been mandated to protect real or perceived LGBTQ students, and more recently, teachers and staff. So let's start being more proactive. I applaud Craig Bugby at Horace Mann, who's as part of his Late Start Wacky Wednesday program, read the children's story that focused on the concept that love is love. Our students should continue to grow up knowing love is love, no matter who loves who. There are many wonderful resources available for the TK-12 classroom. The Respect for All project from GroundSpark is one example. In That's a Family, elementary age children learn about share about their own family structures. Kids talking to kids. In Let's Get Real, bullying is addressed. And finally, at the high school level, Straight Laced addresses gender stereotypes. I look forward to sharing these with Mr. Seaman. But again, thank you for the proclamation set forth today for June to be the Lesbian, Gay, Bisexual, Transgender, and Queer Pride Month. I hope this type of inclusion continues to be a regular and constant priority for the entire school district. And if I have time, I just want to read those who signed this letter. Marissa Terranova, Allie Norman Franks, Nicholas Hengeler, Dana Finley, Celeste McDonald, Heather Subin, Gabby Doyle, Julie Goller, Colleen Lynch, John Castle, Roel Hinojosa, Rachel LeGrand, Ryan Franks, Romy Azaveda, Tina Weiner, Minna Kim, Josh, and Alyssa Glass. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, thank you very much. Michael Salkin? Michal, is it Michal?
Good evening. I'm Michal Amir Salkin, and I would like to thank you for your letter, the board and the administration's letter to the California Department of Education, arguing against the proposed new mathematics framework, stopping the advancement of gifted math students. This new framework is based on many meaningful premises. For instance, that everybody uses math to understand the world and make choices in life, that in order to engage students' interests, lessons must feel relevant to their lives, and most importantly, that all students can learn math, recognizing that different students learn in different ways and at different rates. While the framework spends a lot of time discussing how to engage students with what they call learning differences, those differences are always difficulties that are discussed. And the framework gives teachers many methods to support slower rates of learning. However, there is no guidance given for teaching talented students. The framework expects them to be able to be self-motivated to go, quote, deeper on their own. But self-motivation wears out, and ultimately, gifted students either tune out or act out. My profoundly gifted son, Daniel, arrived at Hawthorne in second grade as a misunderstood, angry, and disruptive, even destructive little boy. The administration and the teachers recognized that he needed to be free to move at his own pace, and with creativity and flexibility and dedication, Beverly Hills USD has supported him along his personal path. I am not exaggerating when I say that this school district saved his life. We have many gifted students in our district, and I am sure that there are many more gifted students throughout California. Thank you for speaking up on their behalf, and thank you for being a role model for other school districts in the state. I hope that the California Department of Education will listen to us and will help all students reach their greatest potential. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. Okay, we have a couple of resolution tonight, and I'm going to read the resolution. And should I call Yoni up to the? Sure. Yoni, can you join me and Dr. Breggy at the podium, please? This is sad. This I don't like. Well, Yoni, it's been a wonderful year working with you. I've loved every minute that you come in with your smile and your tenderness. So, Yoni, whereas Yoni Yashanian, a senior of Beverly Hills High School, served as a student member of the Board of Education June 2020 through June 2021, and whereas Yoni Kashanian, elected by his high school peers, was the student representative for all students in Beverly Hills Unified School District, and whereas he fulfilled his youth leadership role in a professional manner, diligently keeping informed on all issues, and whereas Yoni was an advocate for empowering Beverly Hills High School students, and whereas Yoni was an intelligent, bright spokesperson for all students who provided knowledgeable comments and meaningful contributions to the board meetings, and whereas he demonstrated commitment, perseverance, there's that word again, and a tremendous amount of flexibility during the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Beverly Hills Unified School District Board of Education does hereby commend Yoni Kashanian for his contributions to the Board of Education as the student representative, with his resolution being presented this 8th day of June 2021, and it's signed by Mrs. Marcus and Dr. Breggy. And I want to present you with the same plaque, and
Thank
I
you
just
so much.
read from, and I.
Yay. let you speak as well, but one of my favorite opportunities is the opportunity to meet with our student board members, to begin talking about what the responsibilities are and all of the work. I had an opportunity last night in Senior Awards to present you with an award of distinction for being one of our student board members. And that's always very exciting to be able to do. I think people don't realize a lot of the work that the school board does. I mean, hundreds of pages of documents and everything from personnel and facilities to budgeting to instruction, and you've been able to see that. It was just over a year ago where we met for the first time. We met at Starbucks and we actually had our masks on then, and didn't think that we'd be continuing on through and end your term with masks still on. But I specifically remember that time where we were at Starbucks for a couple of hours just going over, and you had such great questions about what are the responsibilities and and how do I actively participate. And I think one of the areas where you really kind of honed in on was the student voice piece, and you did a lot of that, and coming back to the board and the administration with data that you received from students, and that was certainly very helpful. So that was kind of a niche that you have kind of carved out, and I think and hope that that continues into the future. So congratulations, we are going to miss you very much.
Thank you so much. I'm flattered.
But before you go, on behalf of the Board of Education, we have a little gift for you.
Thank you.
And I just want to express how much I'm going to miss you. I've watched you grow in the position, and I've watched how you brought the students' concerns and what they wanted to us so that we could know what's going on in the schools, especially the high school. So we wish you well. We're going to miss you, and good luck in the future.
Thank you so much. I really have any speech should I say right now?
You can open it when you finish.
Sure.
Sure.
How about going in between us?
I'll go a little bit this way just because these beautiful wires are a little.
Oh, okay, Mr. D'Amico.
They're getting taken care of.
1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Not to single you out.
This means so much to me, and I wanted to say thank you to all 6 of you, everybody who's here, the whole community. I had a speech set for my board report, but I think I'm just gonna say it right now. So I want to extend my heartfelt gratitude to every single person involved in this district. Thank you all so much, President Marcus, Dr. Breggy, Mrs. Walker-Truman, Mrs. Wells, Mr. Margot, Dr. Stern, and all the administrators and teachers, employees, students, KBEV, everybody who's part of this. Without all of you, I would have no role. Students, thank you for being the inspiration of my voice and for always giving me feedback on how you guys feel and changes that you guys want in the school district. I know we went through a little bit of a tough year this year, but we all persevered like warriors, and we are now much stronger. We have learned new skills such as overcoming adversity and working around restrictions. Students, again, my beloved classmates, I will never forget the mark you have left on me. To the board and Dr. Breggy, I want to tremendously thank you all for your constant support and for always listening and taking action to make sure that all of our district students are getting the best education possible. Having a role on the Beverly Hills Unified School District's Board of Education has completely changed me as an ambassador. I have learned many new skills that I hope to utilize in the future. I owe all my success to all your helping hands throughout the process, and I just have nothing to say. I'm speechless. I would also like to thank Mrs. Hacker and Mr. Spitz, both of whose terms ended in the middle of my term, for their guidance and support. You all have helped me grow to be the representative that I am today, and for that I am forever grateful. It is really hard to say goodbye, but it was an honor and pleasure to serve on this Board of Education. I am sure that our new student board member, Eli Raymer, is going to be an amazing advocate for our students, and I only hope for the success of our school district as a whole. Thank you all again, and it was a true pleasure. Good night.
Open your present.
President Marcus, I'd like to make a motion to approve Resolution 2020-2021-038. So that certificate he's holding means something.
I'll second.
Okay, and Dr. Stern seconded it, and I call everybody's in agreement. Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Should I open this now?
Yeah, open it up. So what? Don't have
We'll
to
read this later.
And then while you're opening that up, that Yoni has an event as well that we want to make sure that he's able to get to. So he may be departing a little bit early, but well deserved.
Thank you so much. I still have until like 7, so.
Okay.
I'm gonna try.
For anyone who wondered what the sound of unwrapping, we're capturing it here live.
Wow. SC. Thank you guys so much. I'll definitely wear this.
Okay, do I read it first, or do we, on the next one, do I read, I didn't read it, I read it first and then get approval of it, right? The next one, for the, is the, oh,
Yeah, just the hearing.
oh, I'm sorry, I'm thinking of the other one that's coming along later, okay, all right. Okay, so, public hearing on the proposed local control accountability plan, which I believe, you want to make an introduction on that, or should I just call on Dustin?
Mr. Seaman can come up to the mic. Just while he's doing that, as you know, we've done some alignment this year that has been different from the past, in that we are not only aligning our budgeting principles and our management, but also with our LCAP as well.
Absolutely. So what we're doing tonight is opening up the floor for any public comment, and also extending myself and Mr. Roach for additional public comment. Again, like Dr. Berge had alluded to earlier, what's different from previous LCAPs is we actually did the work around our strategic plan. The difference you'll see in just the formatting is that our strategic plan has more goals than what will be submitted to the state, because we've included things like leadership and facilities into our strategic plan, and those aren't requirements. So again, really it's just tonight is an opportunity for if anybody in the public wants to provide any feedback on the budget.
You don't present it, you're not presenting it? Oh, okay, so the public hearing.
Yep, in public hearing, we did present the strategic plan.
Okay.
3.5 hours our previous meeting, but we still, so it kind of opens up the public hearing.
Okay,
and,
then I'll read this then.
Yep.
Okay, the public hearing on the draft LCAP and the budget is now open at 5:49 p.m. Pursuant to the Education Code Section 52060-52077. The governing board of each school district shall adopt a local control accountability plan, LCAP, and budget on or before July 1st, 2021. The LCAP shall be adopted with the district's annual budget. The public was invited to email their questions to Dustin Seaman and Angeli Villaflor. Mr. Seaman or Mr. Roach, have you received any questions or comments at this time? The Board of Education has heard your comments, and we thank you very much for your input. The public hearing period is now closed at 5:50 p.m. on June 8th, 2021. Okay. And that would be the same as the 12B, the public hearing on that, right? So, okay. So the consent calendar, do I have, I'm going to be pulling 13D. Is there anybody else that wants to pull anything on the calendar?
So I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent calendar minus item 13D.
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion on any of them? None? Okay, call for the motion. All those in favor of the consent calendar without item 13D?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Motion passes 4-0. Okay, can I get a motion for 13D?
I'll move approval of agreement for special services, Tower Rossini, APC.
I'll second.
Okay, motion proposed by Mrs. Walker Sherman and seconded by Mr. Margot. I was the one that pulled this motion and asked to have it discussed. I'd like to talk about it. If there's anybody else that wants to say anything, okay, Mr. Margot?
I do. Did you guys want to say anything on this item? I have a question for Mr. Roach. Thank you. I was wondering if, there was a negotiation with this firm before the proposed rates were raised?
We had no formal negotiations. No, these were submitted by the firm.
Is it typical at all for districts to negotiate increases in that arena?
Most certainly. We can go back to the firm and negotiate. It does happen on occasion. Usually these firms will ask for multi-year agreements, but most certainly we can negotiate during that term.
So my other question is even more important actually, is based on the average of monthly invoices, this particular firms, their invoices are reported out quarterly in some of the local papers. Plus there's work that I believe this firm does that comes from the general fund and from the bond program.
Correct.
So did anybody take a look on, based on the average of the invoices from this company, or even an annual average, what the increase, the effect that increase would have on the general fund budget and the bond budget?
We have not done that analysis yet.
Okay, that's really my concern. It's not as much of the increase as the effect that it may have on those budgets, because we are submitting our budget, and we haven't looked at that, and the volume of work that this firm unfortunately has to do because of the world we live in. I don't know if it's going to affect that or not. So I would prefer to make sure that that's vetted out before approving it, and that we've tried to negotiate the lowest rate increase possible.
Okay, anybody else? Mrs. Walker Schuman?
I guess my question is, when does our current contract end?
Our contract went in June 30th, so we do have some time. We could bring this back to the next board meeting, if that's the pleasure of the board.
Okay, I would like to make a few comments on this. Of course, when this item appeared, I was very surprised and asked as the president that it be pulled. I thought we should discuss this in a closed session before an open session to go over it a little bit. At present, when the agreement expires, it continues on a monthly basis, so there's no need to quickly agree to it. According to the contract, it keeps going monthly, so I didn't think that it was necessary. I'm just concerned. I have this fiduciary responsibility as a board member, and I was the same question that you had, Mr. Margot, about I don't know what the clear parameters are for this service or the issues going forward, what his services are required for. And I do not know what the budget is for this contract for the next year, and the money will be paid out of the general fund. I think we're through paying money up for lawyers. I'm not sure, but I don't think we pay out of the Beverly Hills, the BH fund. I don't think we can do that anymore. And so I am not, I would like to see us get a chance to talk about this in a private closed session, and I will want to do that if possible.
So can I just add that it's a very limited conversation in closed session as it relates to the contract is not a closed session item. If there were some questions based on some of the actual litigation and some of the work, actual charges, but otherwise it's not a closed session item to discuss the overall contract.
Well, I personally would like to take it back to do that if possible. I mean, not so that we don't do anything that's not legal, but I'm having trouble with a 3-year contract at this point, and I would like to see us discuss. So that's my feeling.
Well, I mean, that's what this is for right now, right? Is for us to
Well,
discuss.
there's some issues that I can't bring, that I've been told that I'm not able to, that I discovered with the contract.
Okay, but we have to have the conversation in public.
Right. The actual language of the
Well-
contract is public. The contract is posted.
I'll do that if you want.
But it's
If I
gotta-
have to
it's
do it,
gotta
I'll do
pertain
it.
to that. But President Marcus, I've requested stuff from staff, and I don't know if my colleagues agree with me that they don't have the answers to right now. So I'm prepared to table the item because I want to get the answers before I agree on this, as it may have a budgetary impact that hasn't been vetted
Well,
out.
that's the one that's one of my concerns.
So if I don't know if you had anything else to say, otherwise I'll make a motion to table.
Okay, I'll second
Well,
that.
actually, who made the original motion?
I did.
So you'd have to withdraw your motion. I'll second that, and then I'll make the motion to table.
I will withdraw my motion to approve. Hold on, I have to go back. The approval of agreement for special services for Taurusini APC.
I accept that withdrawal, and I'll make a motion to table the item until June 22nd.
I'll second that.
Okay.
And Michael, you have direction on the questions that we have?
I do.
Okay, thank you.
Will we be able to do? Okay. Okay, Dr. Briggy, it's your superintendent's report.
Thank you, Mrs. Marcus. Just a quick report for you. As we've been reporting out to you, we are anticipating a full opening for in-person learning in the fall. As it was reported at our last board meeting, that it's still in limbo. I put a couple of articles on here just for some sources. But what's in limbo is the discussion behind students that want to remain at home, not coming to school. And so we're getting a bit of a mixed message with a very tough stance from Governor Newsom about returning to in-person learning. In fact, in his proposal, he's even mentioned that there's some financial implications if schools are not up and running to a full extent for in-person learning in the fall. However, there still is a section of what's being discussed right now from Governor Newsom, and that is to for those that wish to continue to learn in an independent study format. That's still something that we're trying to find some more details and information about. So it's the same information as before, but I'm going to continue to update you as much as possible. We fully believe that the best experience for our students is to return to in-person learning. And we will continue to push for some details about what that looks like if a student is uncomfortable or in some way wants to stay in a virtual setting. And that's what we're trying to push for some details on for next year. So I realize that that's frustrating for some people that are doing some planning, but it's something that we're aggressively looking into. And there's been a lot of communication lately from the California School Board Association, as well as what's coming out in the governor's plan and some other lawmakers as well. They're trying to jump in here. But the superintendent group in Laco, there's 80 superintendents. We're really pushing for some details here because this absolutely impacts the planning that we have. We do have a full independent study program. We have reviewed the board policy in the past, the administrative regulations, and we've reviewed that in the past. We haven't made any changes, so we feel like that's a very solid program. However, that works for some kids, and so we're going to have to look into to see if that is something that, and how do we work that into if a student says that they feel uncomfortable to return in the fall. Just a quick update. Ms. Starkins and I had the wonderful opportunity to join the supervision team for prom on Saturday night, and the high school just did such an amazing job. It's amazing at just the last minute, when people really work together, we were able to salvage a lot of these celebrations and yearly rituals, and so it was great to be able to provide this for our seniors, and they looked great. They were on their best behavior. We had a fantastic venue that was really safe, and it looked like everybody had a good time that attended. Speaking of year-end celebrations for our students and also for the parents in our community and our board. So today we've had a very a long day in the sun at two of our fifth grade promotions. These are two fifth grade promotions that are the first time that we've had in-person promotions at Hawthorne and Horace Mann. And two ceremonies today that were so well put together by staff and administration at each school, and it was so great to be able to watch our students get the recognition and shared recognition from teachers for moving on to the middle school. We've got a couple of great events coming up with our BVMS, our first in-person graduation opportunity for our 8th grade class tomorrow, and then our high school class will be the class of 2021, where Yoni will be joining. That celebration will occur on Thursday. So just a couple of snapshots from today we were able to quickly do, thanks to Ms. Starkins, who was able to put these in from just moments ago as she was basking in the sun all day. And our commencement ceremony. So, we have really worked hard on our commencement ceremonies coming up. Not to say that we didn't with our promotions, because we certainly did. Following the LA County Department of Public Health guidelines, having people be seated in households, that is no small task. And when you think about the size of our middle school and also our high school, it just triples the amount of work and pressure to get this right. And I think that our staff has done a really good job. We've worked with the city to provide some relaxed parking enforcement. We do ask people to be really mindful of all the other laws that come into place when you're parking in red zones and by fire hydrants and areas that are clearly marked where you should not park. But we're very thankful with the relationship with our city to provide some relaxed parking for these two events. And also just being conscientious of neighbors and congregating on people's lawns and things like that. We're very pleased to be able to offer an in-person graduation, but we also want to be really respectful of all those that are attending as well. So that's going to be coming up. And then also, just as we made the announcement earlier today, I'm really excited. We have a very comprehensive process that we had in place. And, if you've been following along, you know that we had first round interviews, second round interviews, final interviews, and we had 3 finalists. And at the end of the day, through a very comprehensive process, we knew that we had some good people there. There were people that could do the job, but the expectations that the Board of Education and our parents have on us are much higher. And so we wanted to open that process, and we're really glad that we did. So we've received about 80 applicants in total, and we had 11 people that were interviewed with at least 25 people for a second round, parents and teachers, and then we had a final round with our principals. We had students involved, and also myself in a very long process, a long final interview, and we're just so excited that all the arrows were pointing in the right direction here. And this doesn't happen often when parents, students, administration, the district office, and also the site level, all wanted the same person because it was such a great fit for the job. So as we made the announcement this morning, just very excited to officially welcome Dr. Scott to join us as the Beverly Vista Middle School principal beginning in July. And that's it.
Thank you.
Excuse me, President Marcus, I was alerted by Ms. Kraushaar that we need to vote on the tabling of that item from consent.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, call for the question. Dr. Stern?
Yes.
Mr. Margot?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker-Schuman?
Yes.
And Mrs. Marcus is a yes. Okay, thank you for bringing that up, Mr. Margot. Mr. Kashanian, would you like to say a few more words? Give it your last opportunity. I like to hear you talk. Okay, motion for the approval of a memorandum of understanding between the Beverly, someone wants to make a motion?
Yes, I'll make a motion to approve the MOU between BHUSD and CSEA 2020-2021 school year regarding coronavirus addendum number 1, return to learn.
I'll
Do I have a second? Who seconded? Thank you, Mrs. Walker-Schuman. Okay, any questions, any discussion? Dr. Stern? Question, yes or no? I'm calling for the question. Yes. Mr. Margot?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker-Schuman?
Yes.
Mrs. Marcus is a yes, okay? Okay, business and finance. Do we have a motion for the approval of amendment number 2?
I'll move approval of amendment number 2 to the agreement with NASDAQ International Inc. for specialized armed security agent services.
Thank you. Second? I'll second. Thank you, Dr. Stern. Motion by Mrs. Walker-Schuman, seconded by Dr. Stern. I'd like to make him just point out that this is an agreement because we needed to enter an agreement with coverage for the summer school use of at the high school and at Horace Mann, and so this was an addition for that reason, I believe. So if you want to say anything, Dr. Briggy?
Yeah, I just want to thank our Board of Education for going the additional mile here. This is new. This is, we have a number of kids, more than we have in the past, that are taking summer programs in our schools. And I'm just thankful that our Board of Education has placed security first. And so the additional time and support that we're getting from NASTEC, along with our CSEA security, will ensure that our students receive the same type of support and safety as they do during the school year as they do during the summer. And I just want to say thank you for making that a priority.
Okay, thank you. Call for the question. All those, Dr. Stern? Yes. Mr. Margot?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker-Schuman?
Yes.
And Mrs. Marcus is a yes. Okay, the question is, do I read it first or do we make the motion first? That was what I could, motion or read it?
I think we motion
I would
first.
do the motion first.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'll move approval of resolution 2020-2021-039, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer LGBTQ plus Pride Month, June 1st to June 30th.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Margot. Mrs. Walker-Schuman made the motion. Okay, so whereas it is the policy of the Beverly Hills Unified School District Board of Education that all persons, including those who are lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer, have an equal and non-discriminatory opportunity to a quality public education experience, and whereas Beverly Hills Unified School District Board of Education believes that the rich variety and diversity of families and communities is one of Beverly Hills' strengths, and furthermore believes that a family is a supportive unit composed of various genders, orientations, cultures, races, and ethnicities. And whereas the Beverly Hills Unified School District Board of Education values and welcomes the diversity of our student body, our teachers, our staff, and administrators, including the diversity of sexual orientation and identity in our community. And whereas the Beverly Hills Unified School District has made a commitment to achieving acceptance through fostering diversity and inclusion in our staff, our school population, and in our curriculum. And whereas the Beverly Hills Unified School District strategic plan, moral, strategic plan's moral imperatives underscore that all students and staff have the right to a safe and respectful learning environment that fosters positive connections. And whereas many lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, or queer youth and youth perceived to belong to these groups still face harassment and physical violence in communities, and whereas Beverly Hills Unified School District deplores harassment and physical violence or threat of such any of our students, faculty, and staff, and whereas the Beverly Hills Unified School District Board of Education wishes to note the variety of celebrations recognizing lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer Pride Month around the nation and throughout the state of California during the month of June, and therefore be it resolved that the Beverly Hills Unified School District Board of Education and Beverly Hills Unified School District proclaim June lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer Pride Month, and will display a rainbow flag at each school and facility within the Beverly Hills Unified School District throughout the month of June every year to signify support of the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer community. The foregoing resolution is signed by the Board of Education and Dr. Michael Breggy as the governing secretary. Okay, Dr. Stern, do you want to make a comment? Nope. Mr. Margot? Mrs. Walker-Schuman?
Yes, I will. This is really important. This is an opportunity for the district to not just talk the talk, but walk the walk. And anytime that we can actually demonstrate our values that are in our strategic plan, which include diversity, equity, and inclusion, it's a good thing for the district to do. So I'm very proud that this is presented today, and I'm very supportive of the resolution.
I appreciate that. And the only I think it's, we needed it. And so, but my thinking is it's at the end of the school year. And it's not, I would love to see it come sooner in the school year so that it could be a part of the education and in the community, in the schools. That's the only thing I feel badly about. Here it is, the 8th of June, and the month is over, and now we're basically, acknowledging it and writing a resolution. That's my only comment.
Well, all of June is Pride Month, so we can fly those flags proudly for the entire rest of the month, and then every year thereafter, and hopefully we'll observe it a little earlier next year.
Okay, so if no other further discussion, I'll call for the question. Dr. Stern? Yes. Mr. Margot?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker-Schuman?
Yes.
And I'm a yes for a 4-0 vote. Thank you. Okay, I believe that we have a new appointment to the Facilities and Construction Advisory Committee. Do you have the information on that? I don't have that. Do you have that, Dr. Breggy?
I do. I know that Mrs. Wells wanted to replace her former nominee. I think there was some scheduling issues. And Terry Kaplan will be replacing Bernard Kamine on the Facilities and Construction team. And she was not here this evening, but she wanted to ensure that we were able to share that before our first meeting.
Okay. Do we know when the first meeting is? Do we have a date on that first meeting yet? Do we have?
We do.
June 21st.
June 21st.
Okay.
And perhaps even a reminder, maybe Mr. Wade, since there's lots of events going on, can we send a reminder?
At 4 o'clock, is it at 4 o'clock? 4 o'clock? Beg pardon, what time?
The calendar invite maybe was earlier, but maybe it's been revised.
Do we know the time?
I will check right now. 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock. Okay, thank you. And all the members of the committee have been informed so far?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, time for anything else, though? And communications from the board members. Dr. Stern, you're first up today.
I just want to say again, as we end this school year, what an amazing year it has been, and I feel like we are now seeing all of the beauty and all of the blossoming as we were dormant for such a long time, and I've just seen more zest and richness in talent and education and the educators than I have seen in a long time. It's like a renaissance for all of us, and I'm very pleased at this point. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Margot.
Thank you. Never in my years of service on the board has a single year encompassed so many resolutions having to protect certain groups and point out certain groups. And I'm proud to do it, but I'm sad that we have to. We haven't evolved yet into the kind of society where people are just nice to everybody, and that's unfortunate. But when we do these things as we did tonight, it reminds us to just be nice. I wanted to congratulate all of the BV 8th graders and our high school seniors. Those classes last year were robbed of this opportunity in a way. So as you walk and get your diploma in BV and high school, you're getting it for last year too. And think about the class that preceded you that really took the bullet on this one in some ways and didn't get to have a prom and didn't get to have graduation and all those things. So I'm so proud of this class for weathering the most unique year in my 20 plus years in education. And Yoni and you and your classmates, congratulations to all of you. Even though this was said off camera before the meeting started, I wanted to congratulate Ricky Lee, our senior producer here. Ricky, if you want to poke your head in and give a little wave, you can. And to all the other senior KBEV members, I don't know who here is a senior KBEV member tonight, but to all those that have done this for the years that you've been helping out. What? Josh Katz, yes, I saw his name all over the senior awards yesterday. That's true. And so congratulations to all of you being a fellow KBEV alum. I really appreciate what you guys do. And my equipment was about 10 times as heavy as your equipment. So good for that. Thank you, and good luck to all of our graduating seniors.
Mrs. Walker-Schuman.
Ooh, I got my doctorate, huh? Not yet. A few more years for that one. I just wanted to acknowledge, we went to 2 different promotion ceremonies today, and I have to say, yes, it was a really, really difficult year, but my God, is there such a sense of appreciation amongst the students, the family, and the faculty and staff at each one of these promotions. I cried a couple times today because of the comments, and our students are hilarious. Our 5th graders that are coming up to 6th grade are incredibly articulate speakers and writers, and the heartfelt thanks that were shared from the students to the staff, the tribute to other students. I mean, it was really incredible. It was it gave me a lot of warm, fuzzy feelings. I want to recognize all of our seniors. We've had athletic awards. We had last night the senior awards as well. There are so many really talented and spectacular students. I mean, there are every year, but this is no exception, even in the difficult environment that we all lived through. So I want to congratulate all those students for their awards and scholarships and recognition, and congrats to the seniors. This is our last board meeting before this class wraps up and actually graduates. So it's been a real last year. Thanks for making it interesting.
Well, I want to thank you, Noel, for acknowledging Ricky, because I was also going to do it. I have to tell you, walking in every other Tuesday and see that smiling face and the greeting that I get from that young man just can't be replaced to how warm and friendly he is, and I'm going to miss him very much. I would also like to take this opportunity to talk a little bit about the 2 programs that I attended today, the promotions at the Horace Mann and Hawthorne School. I really want to commend the people that worked on those and organized them, and the production and how smoothly they went. It was really amazing, because this was they were asked to start with nothing because they hadn't done it before. Remember, last year we didn't have it, so they were really working from scratch. And I have to tell you, they did a magnificent job, and they are to be commended, and I wanted to make that announcement. I also want to say that I want to wish everybody a very safe, wonderful summer. Get refueled and get ready to come back to a strong in-person curriculum, I'm hoping. And I'm looking forward to myself having a nice, quiet summer, perhaps. And it's been, I'd have to tell you that getting used to being on Zoom and then coming back, it's been, and I'll tell you, one of the things that I really did learn a lot about is my computer. I really had to learn a lot about my computer. And I got to tell you, I've been told I can now teach or be an IA at one of the schools. I don't know if that's true, but I have to tell you that I really had to learn a lot. And for that, being the president was one small good part of it. And I could wish everybody a happy and a healthy summer. Thank you. And with that, it's now 6:21, believe it. The meeting is adjourned, and thank you, everybody. Yoni, does it fit? Will it fit? Will it fit? That's.
Yeah, it's a large.
I had to call your mother. I know, I called the mother to